Hello again. This video is going to go through pieces of the 2020 AP testing guide. It took them over almost an hour to go through this guide the other night, so I'm going to try and speed all this up because that was a little crazy. So here we go. I'm just going to highlight things that I think you need to know on each of the pages. You are welcome to read all of this because the guide is out there in Schoology. So this is just a list of all the resources, and I've been making them available to you, so that's fine. This is the four things that are in the guide. We'll go through them here. Your AP exam ticket. You're going to get an e-ticket by email 2 days before each of the tests that you signed up for. So you'll get a ticket for each exam. So you need to make sure that you're using the right ticket for the right exam. That's why they're wanting you to note your names on that checklist, the name of your exam on the checklist. So like this one would be AP biology, whatever. It's got your ID on it and then the time in Eastern time. You can also get your ticket by going into your My AP account. It's personalized for you, not transferable. You can't share it with anybody. Oh, and they're not accepting any additional exam registrations. Again, focusing on just Comp Sci. So we're over here on Friday, May 15th at 3 p.m. You should be logging in at 2:30. Everybody's taking it in May now, and if you have troubles, then you take it in June. The June date for AP Comp Sci, if you had trouble, is on Wednesday, June 3rd. That would be 1 p.m. That's a makeup date. So don't really worry about that date unless you're having problems with the test in May. Everybody's taking it at the same time. So they're just doing our time zones. You know that yours is at 3 p.m. This slide here, I wanted to go through what to expect on this year's exam. It's not going to be any more difficult than it ever was before to earn a 3, 4, or 5. So it says, even if an exam question seems more difficult to you than you expected, don't worry. Difficult questions require fewer points to get the 3, 4, or 5. So this year's scores will be very similar to prior year's scores. You're just supposed to stay calm, read each part of the question, and simply show what you know and can do within the time you have. AP exams are never graded on a curve, and this year's is no different. You're not competing against any other students. There's no maximum or minimum number of students who can receive a specific score. All students who earn the required points get the 3, 4, and 5. Also, it says, don't worry if you don't complete all the parts of the question before you need to attach and submit. So if you're not finishing all of the question, that's okay. To give students as many different chances to demonstrate what they know as possible, a question may have more parts than can be answered in the allowed time. You don't need to complete the entire question to get a score of 5, but you do need to submit whatever work you've done. They want to remind you that you're a resilient problem solver and that if you see part of a question that feels unfamiliar to you, stick with it. It may be asking you to use your knowledge and skills to analyze a new situation. Stay calm and look for ways to apply what you know to whatever you see on the exam. Make sure that you get a good test environment. Let's see here. Apparently, I'm going to have a chance to review your score, and if I feel like that's not what you were showing me all year long, I can contact them to review and confirm your score. So that's kind of a nice little thing. So if you don't get a score of 3 or higher because of the shorter exam format, I'll be able to request a review and confirmation of your score. Exam questions are viewed by students in a web browser, so you can attach a response, copy and paste, or do handwritten. So there are 3 ways to submit responses to the questions. The first way is copying and pasting a typed response and then clicking submit. So they envision you typing in Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Notes. Don't include any images, save your work option. Often. Make sure your AP ID and initials are at the top of the response. And when the 5-minute timer shows up that you have 5 minutes left, copy and paste your response in the space indicated and click submit. They really see this as like a side-by-side type of thing where the exam is in one window and your Word or Google Doc or Notepad is in another window. They want you to have it side by side like this so you can see the timer over here because like I said, it doesn't ding, it just flashes when when the 5 minutes starts to come up. Option 2, again, you're running it side by side, but this time you're attaching your document instead of copying and pasting. Needs to be either a Word doc, PDF, or TXT file if you decide to do it that way. I think there are some of you do it that way right now in EP Classroom. Some of you pasted it in and some of you have been attaching docs. Either way works. You can keep doing it the way you are. Just make sure your AP ID is on the top and your initials are on the top. And again, when that 5-minute timer shows up, make sure that you attach your response and click submit. And then the last option is the handwritten option. If you're someone who's interested in that, here it is here for option 3. That's on page 14. This is for music theory and world language. Testing with accommodations, like I said, none of you have that. Here is if you have trouble with the test or like if something happens to your internet during the test in May, you can request a makeup exam and slide 8 on page 18 shows you how to do that. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop on this video and I'll create another one for the next section.